Today we're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of locating a manufacturing, assembly or distribution facility within a country with relatively low wages. Examples of these countries include Bangladesh, China, Cambodia, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Pakistan or Thailand. On face, this issue seems pretty straightforward, but upon diving into this topic, it proves to be a very complex issue with various viewpoints. Viewpoints can change on this issue depending on place of residence, where you work, your background, your company's objectives, or your company's control system. This is why I've invited various business owners, some in favor of locating overseas and some against it, to share their viewpoints.
The biggest and most popular reason why the companies may go for these production type jobs are based around manufacturing, assembly lines and also distribution facilities in low wage countries, because it saves the company so much more money. In regards to that savings, it saves on salaries and hourly wages, payroll taxes and also some other benefits. So in addition, a lower labour cost can actually mean improved product and overhead costs in terms of they're actually decreasing, and this can help with your profit margins, and this is also very good for your business, as this brings so much more competitiveness to the market and also increases your international comparative advantage as well. Now, countries that typically have lower wages are also subject to less regulations in relation to labour conditions, use and disposal of materials, right to work legislation, and various other areas that increase the cost of producing goods compared to more higher wage regulated countries. You are less likely to face a union overseas that lowers problems such as strikes, contract negotiations, and also termination.
Producing in any other country means expanding your labour market. This provides you to access the knowledge and experience of more workers with skilled and specialised talents. They can share with you new perspectives, production technology, alternate production methods, different materials, innovative capacity, organisational and managerial practices, and other money-saving measures perhaps not found in your home market. It also gives opportunity to access international marketing networks, key to expansion and future success. You can also take advantage of certain natural resources abundant in that country. Locating your production jobs in another low-wage country, as seen as its cost effectiveness, increases economic efficiency. It frees up your business's focus to concentrate on company growth and marketing strategy. This reduction in expenses means you can allocate your savings to other areas of your business, such as marketing strategy, company growth, debt reduction, research and development, and other areas that help progress your bottom line. By outsourcing these lower value tasks, your business now has potential to spend more time at high value tasks, delegating and distributing tasks to people with appropriate skill and letting them do what they are best at.
Well, you mentioned low wages. Low wages can often have negative associations with implications of unreasonable authoritative overseers, unsafe and unhealthy working conditions, long hours and low pay. For example, when the Rana Plaza collapsed in Bangladesh in 2013, it killed more than 1,000 people. It created global attention and international outrage, shining a spotlight on Bangladesh's garment industry, showing their terrible working conditions, low pay, corruption and child labour. Part of the advantages and disadvantages of trying to produce goods overseas is the communication and cultural barriers. When producing goods overseas, you have to factor in the cultural and communication barriers at play. The managers of the factory may not have a large understanding of English or of the message you are trying to convey to represent your objectives and ideals. This can often get in the way of timely production and goods delivery and lead to miscommunication regarding quantities, costs and deadlines, or even ethic treatment of the workers. There's also the time zone and contact issues that can occur. In particular, when something is urgent, it can cause stress and extra expense.
At first glance, it may seem that the price of locating a manufacturing, assembly or distribution facility in a country with relatively low wages can save a lot. And yes, you can save on expense in labour and materials, but there are a variety of other costs to take into consideration. Examples of this include the need for larger inventories, which means higher admin costs, additional paperwork, communication and unanticipated design changes, higher transportation and shipping expenses, tariffs, taxes, duties and third-party costs. Training costs. There could be a lack of loyalty and high turnover. Extra quality checks, visits to the factory, price of couriers, air freights, and issues with faulty goods. The less obvious costs, such as preventing the exploiting of economies of scale at your home country, which causes underutilisation of existing manufacturing capacity, and transfer costs, communication costs, support costs. These all add up and can be very detrimental to efficiency. They can cause a significant increase in per cost unit and can become very complicated to solve a problem.
Laws that operate in your home country may not operate where your facility overseas is. Technology transfer risk is something to consider when locating your facility overseas, as you don't enjoy the same protection against leaks and piracy that your home laws legislate against. You also need to factor in the loss of control. Once a company moves overseas to a new jurisdiction overseas, that overseas government could begin to pressure your management to transfer your advanced technology, support certain industries, insist on domestic content. An example of this is Coca-Cola in India. Until 1977, it was a leading soft drink in India until it withdrew from India after government pressure to disclose the formula and reduce its equity stake. Even though the ban was lifted in 1993, that was an approximate 20-year gap, and that is something that could happen anywhere.
Locating a manufacturing, assembly, or distribution facility in a low-wage country has many advantages and disadvantages, as we've discussed. The decision to do so must be assessed individually according to each organisation and their objectives.